IDS 410, take 4. I might get through this. Although I do have somebody call me between 2 and 3. Welcome to Module 3. And let's talk about the discussion board first. We're doing your first of, I think, 3, what do we call them, peer workshop discussions. I broke everybody up into groups of 4. There is one group of 3, but 2 of you that are in there like to get things up really early, so I thought that would be helpful to you. And so hopefully everybody will participate with each other in these small groups where we'll need some help. I mean, I'll come in there and do some facilitating if needed. Let's see, yeah, you may not have done this before, but hey, no biggie. You guys have done great in the first one. You're very, you're just a higher end class right now. So don't prove me wrong, right? Okay, so looking at Module 3 though, you're gonna get into some good stuff like why social change happens. There would be a why and there would be a how it happens. So first look at why it happens. Go through those, okay? The internal factors and the external factors. Very important to know. In many cases, I could say that sometimes problem solving for social change, you look at it and why hasn't this problem been solved yet or not? And sometimes it's because if you solve that problem, another problem springs up. Okay, and so you have to be aware of it, which creates this tension into actually getting that problem solved like you would like. It's kind of like my medical history. I manage one thing, another one pops up. It's whack-a-mole, right? All right, so look at those things about power, ideology, group dynamics, and then the external factors. There's also called intersocial factors. And it's important to know because this is how you get the context. You understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, right? It's important. People just you don't do anything unless you know why you're doing it, okay? Even breathing, we know why we're doing it because we're staying alive, right? So what if my issue feels too big? Now this one's kind of a week late, I guess, but it gives you another idea to look at why I talk about issues being too big, okay? Again, to me, it's a simple thing about having an ideal notion of somebody needs to solve that problem right there to I need to solve what I can and I need to start with something manageable, okay? So that's an important thing also. It's basically the issue is too complex and overwhelming, okay? So that's why we keep paring it down, and that's where critical thinking comes in. That's why it's not easy, and that's why this is a 400 level class, right? Of course. All right. So the range of actions is also overwhelming. So when you try to solve the Israel-Gaza war, the things that it's so complex. It really is. It may seem simple to some people, but if you got in front of it, you'd know how complex it was, okay? And that doesn't insinuate anybody is on the right side here. I would say anytime people are being eliminated, that's a problem, okay? There's never a good reason for genocide. That's my opinion. But there's, a myriad of historical dynamics involved here. I'm not going to get into it, okay? Because it's way out of my pay grade, right? Okay, so the challenge on the big thing is you're focusing on what you think you should do, or you're focusing on what you think somebody should do instead of what you can do. Remember John F. Kennedy back in 1962 said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, right? So that's kind of what we're doing here. Don't just point it out, see what you can do. Then you're going to get into that peer workshop. Or if anybody has any questions about this, let me know. The instructions are very specific and it's worth 50 points. Please fulfill those criteria in the rubric. Again, I don't number things. Discussion boards, you can number, you can subhead, break paragraphs up. Do not just put everything in one paragraph, because I'm not going to sit there and go with a dissection scalpel and say, well, let's see, this part here, this chunk, this organ goes with this question, and this one goes with this criteria. Don't do that. Think like you got to read this, okay? And put it in and written in an organization you can understand. All right. So the learning objectives are pretty clear. Let's see. There's some resources, required resources, using the five whys method to identify and solve problems is great. That's like using the 5 whys method. But in the extra kind of resources, it's just about the whys method. So the second one just kind of cuts to the chase, okay? There's a short video called Narrow Your Topic with the Research Cycle. There's a reading, Developing a Theory of Change. Then there's, let's see, the optional. Yeah, what is human-centered design? The 5 whys of problem-solving method. That's only two minutes long video. Check that out. Do-it-yourself toolkit SWOT analysis. That's 3-minute video. There's a community assessment reading. And then again, the library guide, the resource guide, interdisciplinary studies in the Commons library guide. Quite helpful. And your research, when you're doing it, you shouldn't be going out Googling, because you're going to find crap. I hate to use that word, I have good language on you, but Google is not the place to do research, okay? Google Scholar, yeah, maybe. But you have access, okay, to a wonderful library online, okay? And because the Shapiro Library is so extensive and set up, you'll be able to find full texts, full research papers online that you can have access to. Go to Google Scholar. A lot of people are paying for seeing that stuff. You don't have to here, okay? So get in, look, go through the library, search there, filter for full text online, filter for peer-reviewed, and you are going to be golden in your research, okay? Remember, you're looking for things that inform your study. It challenges your study. It goes against your study. It supports your study. It's somebody that did something similar that worked or didn't work. Think of it in those terms, okay? And use the library for that. Let's see. Module 4, that's coming. We'll get to it when we do, right? Okay, so we'll be fine then. I'm going to be scoring your papers. Let's see. I think that's about it. I don't want to overdo it. You go through the module and you'll be fine. Remember to look at my APA formatting announcement, the video and the text announcement there. Make sure you're submitting papers that you can be proud of in terms of organization and content. And if you have any questions, you know how to get hold of me. Send me an email. We can set up a call. Again, I'm on spring break from the high schools, so I have no conflict during the days. So get it while you can. 8 minutes, ready, I'm gone. Peace.